Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Health Formula Show. Now, before we dive in, let me just say this. If you haven't listened to episode 363 yet, pause this right now and go back. That is the episode where I break down the real issues with cow's dairy, from inflammation and hormones to skin issues and digestion and even mood. It's the full foundational piece, and it will give you a lot of context that you need to know for today's episode. Because today we are going in on the myths, full on, the ones that I hear about all the time, the ones that keep people stuck, the ones that sound smart, but when you dig a little deeper, they just don't hold up, okay? So if you've ever said something like, but dairy has calcium, where am I going to get my calcium from? Or isn't yogurt good for your gut? Or raw milk, isn't that better? We are breaking it all down today. And make sure that you stay until the very end, because I'm going to be giving you a list of whole food dairy swaps that are actually delicious and super nourishing. So let's get into it. Myth number one is, but dairy is essential for calcium and for strong bones. Well, let's start with the classic. Yes, dairy does contain calcium, but that does not mean it's the best source or even the most absorbable. To actually use calcium properly, your body also needs what? Vitamin D, it needs magnesium, it needs vitamin K2. Without those cofactors, that calcium can actually end up in the wrong places, like your joints or your arteries, instead of your bones. And here's the part that nobody talks about. The countries, this is crazy by the way, the countries with the highest consumption of dairy also have the highest rates of osteoporosis. How crazy is that? So no, dairy is not the magical bone protector, okay, that it's been made out to be. And just to clear this up once and for all, no one develops osteoporosis because they forgot to drink milk. It's about nutrient synergy, not one single food. There are way better, cleaner sources of calcium like tahini, chia seeds, sardines with the bones, leafy greens, almonds, all of that. So please don't feel like dairy is your only option, because it isn't. Your bones will be just fine. They will be much healthier, by the way, if you don't consume dairy. So yeah, they will be better without it. The second myth is that fermented dairy is good for your gut. So this one sounds good in theory, right? But yogurt and kefir, yes, they do contain probiotics. But here's the catch. If your gut is already inflamed, or if you're reacting to casein, which most people are, fermented dairy actually makes things worse. And I've had clients, many clients, come to me with bloating, with skin issues, or weird digestive symptoms, and they are just forcing down yogurt every day or kefir, thinking that it's helping. We take it out, boom, everything settles. So if you want probiotics, go for coconut yogurt. Just make sure that you check the label to ensure that it has minimal ingredients. Go for sauerkraut, go for kimchi, go for tempeh, or just a high quality probiotic supplement. Myth number 3, raw milk is way better for you. Now this one is tricky because raw milk is way different from what you get in the supermarket. It hasn't been pasteurized. So yes, it does have those enzymes. Yes, it does have those nutrients, but let's not romanticize it, okay? You are still drinking cow's milk, which contains A1 casein. So that is a protein that creates those beta casomorphins that can drive inflammation big time, especially in people with gut issues, by the way. In fact, A1 casein makes about 80% of the protein in cow's milk. And even raw, it can still be quite inflammatory if your gut is not in a great place. Now, are there exceptions? Of course there are exceptions. There are exceptions to every single rule. And I have worked with many people who are severely underweight, malnourished, or very catabolic. And in rare cases, yes, raw milk can help restore nutritional status quickly. But even then, I always recommend testing first. The IgG food sensitivity test is honestly one of our most popular synergized at-home labs. It's a very simple blood prick. You can do it right at home, and it can tell you if you are reacting to dairy proteins or common inflammatory foods that a lot of people eat. And you can find it at paulabenedict.com/labs. And if you are going to try raw milk, I always suggest raw goat or sheep milk over cows because they are naturally, A2, so it's much easier to digest and they are way less inflammatory. But again, test, don't guess. Myth number 4. But cheese has vitamin K2, Paula. Yes, yes, yes. Parmesan and some aged cheeses, yes, they contain vitamin K2, which is very important for bone and for heart health. I'm not going to deny that. But let's be real. That's like saying that you're going to drink wine because of the antioxidants. Like you're going to get way more antioxidants from a single blueberry, right? Without all of those downsides that come with alcohol. Same thing with K2. You can get it from natto, which is the highest natural source. You can get it from egg yolks. You can get it from grass-fed ghee, or a good K2, a K2 supplement. Now, you don't need cheese for this. It's just not a strong enough reason to keep eating dairy if it's causing issues. Like it really isn't. Myth number 5, but I don't react to dairy. This is like one that I hear a lot of the time, and it is quite sneaky. People assume that if they are not running to the toilet, they must be fine. But a lot of reactions to dairy are immune driven. They are not digestive per se. And I have seen clients with acne, hormonal imbalances, bloating, sinus congestion, brain fog, skin rashes, who had no idea that dairy was playing a role until we took it out completely and everything shifted. Just because the reaction is not loud does not mean that it's not happening. Okay. Myth number 6, but kids need dairy to grow. I hear this all the time. And as someone who has worked with so many families, I can tell you with absolute confidence, kids don't need dairy. They need nutrients. And in practice, I have seen kids who were struggling with eczema, who were struggling with constipation, lots of mucus and congestion and just allergies, behavioral meltdowns, and they do a complete 180 once we remove the dairy. So it's just crazy. And you can support their growth and their development with clean plant-based milks, with calcium-rich foods like tahini, like sardines, like leafy greens, with quality protein, with good fats, with whole nourishing meals. You don't need cow's milk for strong bones or healthy growth. Please, guys, we have to understand that. Okay, so now that we've busted these crazy myths, let's get into the fun part. The alternatives actually taste amazing because the goal is not to feel restricted, it's to feel empowered. That's my role here. So here are my go-to swaps because they are simple, they are delicious, and they are super supportive. So for cream or sour cream, you can try like canned coconut milk or maybe some pureed avocado. It works really well with like tacos or as a dip. For butter, try coconut oil for like baking. You can try olive oil for like roasting, maybe some ghee as well. For cheese, you can do maybe like some cashew cheese or nutritional yeast. For cream cheese, you can do like soft tofu, maybe some coconut oil with a splash of apple cider vinegar. It works great in frostings. For ice cream, you can do like frozen banana or frozen mango, a nice frozen acai bowl. I mean, there are so many options nowadays, so many like dairy-free, almond-based ice creams. Just stay away from like soy-based ice creams or yogurts or milk because they can be just as problematic. And if you want to know why, head back to episode 363 of the Health Formula Show. For yogurt, you can do like coconut yogurt or almond yogurt. Just make sure it's like, minimal ingredients, no sugar added. For milk, so many options. Almond, coconut, macadamia, hemp, flax, oat. I mean, there's so much. And what I would say though is just add like 1 teaspoon of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar to plant milk to make your own dairy-free buttermilk, and it works really, really well. For chocolate, like for milk chocolate, you can do like dark chocolate, like semi-sweet. Just make sure it doesn't contain milk or like whey. And then for whey protein, I mean, there's pea protein, there's hemp protein, there's just so many options. Or my go-to, which is the Synergized Daily Essential Formula. It's dairy-free, it's clean, and it's like loaded with goodness. So there you have it. The 6 biggest dairy myths completely broken down, and a whole lineup of dairy swaps to keep you feeling super nourished and inspired. Because this is not about fear, it's not about restriction, it's about listening to your body, and it's about understanding the science and making the choices that actually support your health. So if this episode gave you clarity, please send it to someone who needs to hear it, a friend, a parent, a partner, anyone that is still clinging to those dairy myths, which are crazy. And if you want recipes, tutorials, and easy swaps to make this transition very smooth, everything is waiting for you inside the Synergized app. There are so many dairy-free, every single recipe there is dairy-free. So is dairy really bad for you? Well, it depends on the person, but for so many people, it's not the innocent, healthy food it is marketed to be. So yeah, if you're struggling with skin issues, bloating, hormonal imbalances, mood swings, or low energy, try taking it out just for a couple of weeks and just see. Your body will tell you everything that you need to know. And if this episode gave you that light bulb moment, just share it. And with that, we'll bring it to an end. Thank you so much for being here. And before you go, take a moment to acknowledge yourself for wanting to become the healthiest version of yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Before you head off, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a weekly episode. We cover everything from functional medicine to gut health, hormones, weight loss, skin health, natural beauty, you name it. All the topics that truly matter. And if there's something that you would love me to cover, just drop it in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear from you. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.